Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're starting on a new project here, late summer project. Hope to have it wrapped up by fall for this winter's activities. We're going to be combining all these parts you see here on this bench into a working wood lathe. Wood lathe we picked up several years ago. It was in the trash. Probably should have left it there, but I took it home. Missing a motor, missing any sort of bench, nothing really to go with it. I've had it for a few years, just kind of had it on the back burner. I was looking for a motor, didn't want to dish out really any money for a motor, so he just kind of sat around. Like last winter when I picked up the table saw, I picked up a 3/4 horse motor, a reversible motor, at an auction for about 35 bucks. So it's going to be a little bigger than the half that these normally came with. Plus it'll be reversible. Since then I've also picked up some old table legs. I'm going to make that into the legs for the stand. We're going to put it on some wheels, set of wheels in the back, so we can move around a little bit. As you see my videos, my shop's pretty tight. Don't really have a whole lot of room left for any sort of permanent mounting, so things on wheels that I can roll around, take out when I'm needing, bring it outside. Wood lathe makes a lot of shavings, a lot of chips, so if I could put that outside, make cleanup a lot easier. So yeah, it's going to have some wheels. We've also bought we actually bought some new parts from Amazon. I was missing the pulley for the motor, and they still make it. I mean, not through Craftsman, but probably the original copy. Whoever would make pulleys still makes them, and still works. It matches what's on the wood lathe. So we'll be getting that on. We could actually get the belt, the correct belt. Found it. Bought some belts at a yard sale. Guy gave them to me, and one of them happens to work perfectly. So we've got a good start. We're going to do some. There's going to be some electrical work, some restoration work, some fabrication work. A little combination of about everything to get this thing put together. Like I say, it'll be multi-part, and we'll kind of a slow process, but hopefully at the end we'll have a working, functioning wood lathe for new projects. So off camera we put this table together, basically out of some scrap 2x6s I had laying around and some old legs from a table I got out of a scrap pile. I'll include some stills in that. Not really going to go into detail about how to build a wood project because I'm not the guy to be showing you that, but it'll work for now. Just something to hold the wood lathe up. I was going to try to go for just a set of legs on top, on the bottom of the wood lathe, but the way this one is designed, it's designed to be mounted on a table. So I finally broke down and decided to do that. Just real simple on this. We've got it laid up here. Did a quick check. It's fairly square, sitting about 17 inches back here, and just a little more than less than 17 here. So I'm just gonna add about 18 inches. Yeah, that gets us pretty close. That gets us pretty close, and that's all going to be relative to the straightness of this table, which is not too reliable. And it gives us plenty of wood to mount through here, and mounting holes up here. Now I did have to take some consideration for the bolt holes I'll have to drill through here, which will affect the plates for the legs, but it'll be a little extra strong, a little extra support. We'll drill through the plate, won't be a problem. We'll get this mounted first, and then we can kind of work on getting getting our motor mounted. But let's get this rigid so we can line that up. Now, I don't think we can really center punch this, so we're just gonna take a pencil, hope for the best. And set this motor on the floor. Hey, success. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to drill right on the edge of that. That could be a problem. Guess we'll revisit that. We'll go ahead and get out the old Milwaukee hole shooter. Not find the right key for it. After some searching, we found the key. It's in the drawer with the other keys. Where it belonged. Who would have thunk? I just moved the holes back about 3/4 of an inch just to clear that board under here. A little bit, yeah. That's pretty tight. I might have to go with a little bigger hole there. Alright, so that'll hold that down for right now. Those are grade 8 bolts I put in there, which is a little overkill, but I'll pick up some grade 5 or something. Save those grade 8s for something that really requires it. So, but it'll hold it for right now. I think before we get too far ahead, I'm going to go ahead and spray some of this down with this Aero Curl. That way, there when we get to tearing it down, we don't have to wait for it to work. You can have a few days head start. I'm sure that bearing's going to be seized, so be part of the project just finding it. Little plug for Arrow Crawl right there. By the Kano Laboratories. All right, now that we got the lathe mounted, we're going to try to get this motor mounted. One thing I wanted to highlight about this, obviously didn't have a pulley, so I didn't have a motor, but I was able to go on Amazon and actually purchase what I do believe to be the correct pulley. I was kind of wanting to show you this. I need to get this box off. So yeah, it was pretty much, I guess, an off-the-shelf pulley that Craftsman used and still available. Amazon, love it or hate it, has made repairing equipment so much more affordable and possible, because this is not on the shelf anywhere in a brick and mortar store here locally. There's a few supply houses I could go over to in Lexington, and I'm sure they could order it for me, but sometimes the cost and time of doing things like that is just negates a repair that you may need to do. So, because you just don't have time and you don't have the extra funds to tie up doing that. So, Amazon, love it or hate it, makes a lot of these projects possible. So we'll slide that back on there. This does have a little dent in it. I don't know if I dropped it. I know that it's a problem, but we'll just get that on there for now. We won't put the key right now. This belt I had on the wall there, it's a half by 36 and a half. Original spec is half by 37. So it is a ½ inch shorter. I've got this belt. I don't see any reason not to use it. And I think I can make it, if I do go back to the original, I should be able to adjust that out. Or I could just replace it with a belt just like this. So yeah, it's going to slide in quite a bit there. Alright, so we'll get the hole shooter back out. I did adjust one of these holes. Now one of these is going to go into that plate, and the rest should go through wood all the way. Alright, next let's go ahead and put this pulley on. Of course, we'll put a little anti-seize on that shaft here. Not a whole lot. Which one to use? Do you use the copper or do you use the silver anti-seize? I had a bunch of copper, so we're going to use that. Just tap on there. Just a little more. Go ahead and pull this set screw out. Just put it the right way. Loctite or anti-seize? I'm thinking it needs Loctite, but for right now I'm just going to put it in there dry. We may have to adjust that. No sense of getting out of hand with that. And move this back in place. Now for some bolts. Just get those snug down for now. Didn't really have room for a lock washer on there, but maybe this one. This one is through the plate. And of course, this one's just through the wood. It'll probably draw up in that wood some more. I need to tighten them again, but this is for right now. Just to kind of hold it in place. Well, it's a little loose, I think. Let's try one more time. I think if I went any tighter, then I couldn't swap speeds. So I think we'll leave it alone for right now. Got a little noise, a little rubbing coming from up here, but we're going to get into this when we tear this whole thing down. So I think we're in a good spot for right now. So that's just a video to show you that it works. It's not showing you how to use it with lathe. Do not take that as any sort of advice. But I just wanted to show you some function of it before we start tearing into it. And, all this is getting a little better. The curl's doing its job, but we're going to pull all this apart, all this apart, all this apart, all that apart, and you didn't see any of that on the screen. But we will be tearing into every bit of this, and hopefully we're getting it like new. Thanks for watching.